Welcome to Live Interactive English. My name is Winnie.
And I am Mike, and today we are going to a place where history still lives, Dadaocheng. Dadaocheng. Is that a guy's name, Mr. Cheng?
Try again.
Cheng Dadao? Dadao.
It's Dadaocheng.
Oh, Dadaocheng. Oh, here in Taipei, that lovely neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm definitely saying it wrong.
No, the second time was actually pretty good. Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm learning. All right. Well, this is where history still lives. Now, to me, that's kind of talking about how, and I think this is right, it's one of the oldest neighborhoods in Taipei.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
I think you are. Have you ever been personally?
I have.
Okay. I thought you were going to say no.
Not as often as I would like to.
Sure.
And I know that it's gotten a lot more interesting in the last 5 or 10 years.
A lot of people would say that if you want to get like the old taste of Taiwan, you go to Dadaocheng. So when I first moved here, I didn't know anything about it. I was just like, oh, it's just one of those bucket list places to go. And then you get there and you're like, whoa, it's like stepping into a time machine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's definitely a place you would want to return to after visiting it once.
I would recommend it to people.
The time, the name, the neighborhood, the place as a popular place to go, the time it comes up a lot is around Chinese New Year.
Sure, yeah.
Right, when people are going down to a Dihuajie to buy all their snacks.
Yes.
But that's also the time when I hear a lot of people saying, oh, don't go there now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. People mountain, people sea. It's just bananas. You want to avoid that.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why I haven't gone as often.
You don't go
when
to
I think of going, it's the worst time to go.
You don't go to Times Square on New Year's Day.
Right, or don't go to Kending for the spring break in April.
Exactly.
It's just the busiest time, but also maybe the fun time to go.
That's true.
But you have to deal with the crowd. So I think this is a great article, and I'm hoping to learn a lot more about it and maybe some times or places or things I can do where there won't be the huge crowds.
That's true.
Because it is a beautiful looking part of the city.
I agree. Well, let's see what it offers.
Okay.
When I first arrived in Taipei, I missed the feeling of the old streets back home in Britain. Then I discovered Dadaocheng. It's one of the city's oldest neighborhoods and dates back to the 19th century. When I walked along Dihua Street, I saw buildings with red bricks, wooden windows, and red lanterns. They reflect a mix of Chinese and Western styles from the Qing Dynasty and Japanese period. The red lanterns on Dihua Street are a sign of good luck and help give the street a warm and welcoming appearance.
Let's begin today's article, Dadaocheng, where history still lives. And this is, of course, day 1.
Okay, so it seems to be written from the writer's point of view, the first-person perspective. So we'll read it as if we're the person, experiencing and writing about this place. When I first arrived in Taipei, I missed the feeling of the old streets back home in Britain. Then I discovered Dadaocheng. And it was obviously a lot older and a lot more like what the person missed in Britain. To discover something, this verb means, well, originally or, in the most common way, it means to find or see something new, probably something no one has ever seen before. That's the kind of discovering that will make you famous. For example, I was happy to discover a new cafe to go to. I think the people who work in the cafe, they already knew about it. But for that person, it was a new and interesting thing.
Right. And continuing on with the article, it's one of the city's oldest neighborhoods, and by its, we're talking about Dadaocheng, and dates back to the 19th century. And when we use the word dates, we're saying this goes way back. We're not talking, Dadaocheng was in, they created it in 2012. No, we're talking 19th century, which we're saying the year is probably 18 something.
Yeah.
And of course, when we're using the word neighborhood, we're talking about a district or community of houses and families. So you will often say, for example, I want a neighborhood that is really family friendly, which is dog friendly.
Okay.
And so this is a place where it's a collection of, houses and places for the neighborhood. So, for example, you could say, my neighborhood is usually quiet in the evening.
Oh, okay.
I get to brag about that because I live in Elan.
Oh, that's nice. So your neighborhood is not downtown
Nope.
in the city center. It's more on the outskirts.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right, let's go over to Hanny, see what she has to say, and then we'll be back with more about Dadaocheng.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。这篇的文章是以作者的第一视角叙述，我们要跟着作者来一趟大稻埕之旅。Mike 老师在讲第一视角时，他用到 perspective 这个字 ，P-E-R-S-P-E-C-T-I-V-E。那这个名词它表示观点、角度或看法。好，文章的一开始，作者说他刚到台北时，很想念家乡英国老街的感觉。然后他发现了大稻埕是台北最古老的街区之一，可以追溯到19世纪。好，那课文单字 discover 是动词，表示发现、找到、发掘。Neighborhood 是名词，则表示街区、地段或邻近地区。单字例句写到说，我住的街区晚上通常很安静。Winnie 老师很自豪地说，他住的地方就是这样，他住宜兰。那老师有用到 brag 这个动词 B-R-A-G brag， 它表示自夸或者是表达吹嘘。那 Mike 老师就提到这是郊区嘛，他提到 outskirts O-U-T-S-K-I-R-T-S outskirts 就可以表达郊区。那这边还有一个重点。Date back 或者是 date back to 是指追溯至始于用来表示某事物最早出现或开始的时间。Date 在这边当动词是指推断什么形成的时间，或者是确定的年代。那以下介绍两种常见的用法，一种是 date back to 加上某特定时间或年代，另一种是用 date back 加一段时间。好，例如 This tradition dates back to the 14th century. 这个传统可追溯到14世纪。This tradition dates back 700 years. 这个传统可追溯到700年前。好，那接话课文中。
Okay, we are back in Dadaocheng, and okay, great. We're going to be going to the one place that I definitely know I've been to, and I can probably find if I drive there or find it on a map, but that's about all I know. So this is a good place for me to start. It says, when I walked along Dihua Street, I saw buildings with red bricks, wooden windows, and red lanterns. It has an old feeling to it. Kind of feels like you're walking down in a movie set.
Right.
Or somewhere like that, one of those living museums, because it really does feel like you've traveled back in time. And one of the things that gives you that feeling, of course, are the houses and the way they're built. A lot of them are built with these very special red bricks. Now, bricks are still used in a lot of buildings, but maybe not as many as they used to be. And that color red...
Not as pretty.
That's quite unique. So a brick is basically a man-made stone or block that is usually the same size. It'll be a rectangle about this big by about this big, about that thick. You make a bunch of them, thousands and thousands. You pile them on top of each other. You kind of glue them together and hey, you got a wall. And then eventually you got a building. So those will be like building blocks. When we think of toys like Lego, we actually call those little pieces of Lego you stick together to make a house. Those are bricks as well. Most bricks are not made of plastic like the toy ones. They're made of clay or stone or something like that.
Yeah.
Cement, and you build them, you put them together in a special way so they're nice and strong, and then eventually you will have a building. For example, the wall around our house is made of bricks because it's an easy way to build stuff.
Okay, well, continuing on, they reflect a mix of Chinese and Western styles from the Qing dynasty and Japanese period.
Wow.
And actually what I think of Dadaocheng, actually my initial thought, my reflex is to go red bricks. So I'm already picturing Dadaocheng just from the red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that in pictures as much as I remember it when I went there.
Yes.
But yeah, and even the streets, I think sometimes, aren't they
the
kind of made with
stones on
red,
the floor,
red bricks as well? So definitely one of the most common dominant colors will be that red. And it's not just the bricks that you might see all over the place. It says the red lanterns on Dihua Street are a sign of good luck and help give the street a warm and welcoming appearance. I know that's probably not news to anyone here that red is a lucky color. It's a color of wealth and success and good things. So it makes sense that this neighborhood has lots of red in it. Let's go over to Hanny and learn all she has to say, and then we'll be back.
作者提到，他沿着迪化街散步时，看到红砖、木窗和红灯笼的建筑，那这些反映了清朝和日治时期中西合璧的风格。那么迪化街上的红灯笼除了是吉祥的象征，也让这一条街呈现出温暖热情的氛围。我们来看看单字 brick。brick 是名词，表示砖块。Red bricks 就是指红砖。那我们接着回到课文中。
All right, thank you, Hanny, for that.
All right, let's go to the second part of the article. We'll be listening to that, reading through it, and then we will be back with you to chat about it.
The area was once a busy trade center for tea, herbs, and fabrics. Today, many shops still sell these goods and preserve the neighborhood's history. I visited a tea shop where the shelves were lined with colorful boxes. It made me feel like I'd stepped into a secret museum. The owner offered me a warm cup of tea. As I drank it and looked around the shop, I felt connected to the past. After that first visit, Dadaocheng quickly became one of my favorite places in Taipei.
All right, we are back, still talking about Dadaocheng. We've learned it has a very long history going back to the 19th century. That's the 1800s to you and me. So it is a traditional area with a long history, and the area was once a busy trade center for tea, herbs, and fabrics. Today, many shops still sell these goods and preserve the neighborhood's history.
Right.
So people still need tea, herbs, and fabrics, so they still go there. If you're looking for a new drone or a cell phone or a pair of skis, don't
Probably
go
not
to
the best
Dadao.
place.
That's not the place to go. They have other places in Taipei for
Yeah.
that. But some of the old traditional stuff that was sold in the old days, it's still sold there now. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And continuing on, I visited a tea shop where the shelves were lined with colorful boxes.
Oh, nice.
It made me feel like I'd stepped into a secret museum.
Or a movie set. Kind of makes me think of a movie set. Or something like that. That sounds wonderful.
And we have this adjective colorful, which just means, you know, bright and vibrant, lots of different colors. So when they look up, they see all these boxes that are colorful. You know, we're not talking it's just white, brown, black. We're talking rainbows, you know? So for example, my sister's garden is full of colorful flowers. So safe to say, if you want a good photo op, a good little, you know, Instagram post, go to Dadaocheng.
That sounds great. Or if you're an artist or something like that, that would be
Good inspiration.
Yeah, beautiful thing to try to capture yourself because, of course, it is a very unique and beautiful and interesting place. So let's go over to Hanny. We'll find out all she has to say, and then we'll be back.
作者接着提到，这个地区曾是茶叶、草药和布料的繁华贸易中心。如今，许多商店仍然贩售这些商品，并保存着这个街区的历史。那他有参观一家茶馆，架上有五颜六色的茶盒。那么 colorful 就可以形容鲜艳的、缤纷的。这时候 Winnie 老师在解释时有提到 vibrant，V-I-B-R-A-N-T， 它可以形容色彩是鲜明的、充满生气的。那作者下一句写到 It made me feel like I'd stepped into a secret museum. 这让我感觉像是走进了一个秘密博物馆。句子前面用到过去简单式 made， 后面用到过去完成式 had stepped。那这边我们就来介绍一个文法重点。过去完成式 had 加上 PP， 表示在过去某一时间或动作之前就已经完成的动作，常常搭配过去式使用，用来表示事件的先后顺序。先发生的事件或动作用 had 加 PP， 后发生的是用过去简单式。例如 Jack had owned the car for 20 years before it broke down. 在那辆车故障之前 Jack 已经拥有它20年了。那拥有是先发生，用过去完成式 had owned。那么故障是后发生，用过去简单式 broke。好，那我们接着回到课文中。
All right, so the writer of our story, a person from England, kind of misses some of the old stuff from Britain, from England, where they're from, and now they're in Dadaocheng, just visited a tea shop, a really old traditional tea shop with colorful boxes. I guess each color, each box has a different type of tea inside or something like that. And they actually spent some time there. They didn't just admire how nice it looks, they actually spent some time. That's when we read, the owner offered me a warm cup of tea. Oh, thank you very much. As I drank it and looked around the shop, I felt connected to the past.
Well, you know, the quickest way to a Brit's heart is a cup of tea.
A good cup of tea, yes. An English person or any British person or many people. To connect things, it's basically to join things together. If you're holding hands with someone, you're connecting to them. But maybe about relationships, your friendships. These are ways you connect with other people. In the article, and both in our example sentence, we're talking about connecting to your culture or to traditions from history. For example, traditional music lets us connect to our culture. So even though you're a young Taiwanese person, if you listen to Taiwanese music from 100 years ago, it can give you a feeling of the history of your people and the culture.
Right, and for him, it's kind of taken him back, the writer. He's never been there in the past, but he feels like he was transported there.
Exactly.
So continuing on, after that first visit, Dadaocheng quickly became one of my favorite places in Taipei. For me, when I take all my friends from back home, they're like, oh, hey, we're visiting Taipei. You know, let's go to Taipei 101. I'm like, I'm gonna stop you right there.
Okay.
I'm gonna take you somewhere even better.
Interesting.
I'm gonna take you to the past.
Yeah, start in the past and then move. That's a great idea.
Yeah, well, let's go see what Hanny has to say.
Sounds good.
在那一家茶馆，老板给作者一杯热茶。当他喝着茶环顾店里时，感受到了与过去的连结。在那第一次造访之后，大稻埕很快就成为他在台北最喜欢的地方之一。好，单字 connect 是动词，表示产生联系、共鸣，或者是有连结的意思。文中用过去分词 connected 当形容词来形容产生连结的、产生情感联系的。这边还有一个重点是 offer 当授予动词，它表示提供或者是给予。我们可以用 offer somebody something 或者是 offer something to somebody 来表达提供某人什么什么。例如 The secretary offered me a cup of coffee 那位秘书为我提供一杯咖啡。好，这话课文中。
All right, thank you, Hanny. And today I've learned...
Are you feeling connected?
I do. I actually feel like I want to take a little quick trip right now.
I kind of do too. I think I might be heading down to Dadaocheng this evening or on the weekend or something like that, because it's not just for shopping for snacks at Chinese New Year. You can go there anytime. And as you said, if you have visitors coming to Taiwan, this might be a great place to go. It will be very, very interesting to people from other countries.
Yeah.
We're going to be learning all about it tomorrow. More about it, I should say, tomorrow. So please come back and join us for that. Until then,
see ya.
Dadaocheng.
When I first arrived in Taipei, I missed the feeling of the old streets back home in Britain. Then I discovered Dadaocheng. It's one of the city's oldest neighborhoods and dates back to the 19th century. When I walked along Dihua Street, I saw buildings with red bricks, wooden windows, and red lanterns. They reflect a mix of Chinese and Western styles from the Qing Dynasty and Japanese period. The red lanterns on Dihua Street are a sign of good luck and help give the street a warm and welcoming appearance. The area was once a busy trade center for tea, herbs, and fabrics. Today, many shops still sell these goods and preserve the neighborhood's history. I visited a tea shop where the shelves were lined with colorful boxes. It made me feel like I'd stepped into a secret museum. The owner offered me a warm cup of tea. As I drank it and looked around the shop, I felt connected to the past. After that first visit, Dadaocheng quickly became one of my favorite places in Taipei.
最后我们来复习今天课文里的单字文法。单字的部分有 discover 动词表示发现、找到或是发掘 ，neighborhood 名词表示街区、地段或邻近地区 ，brick 是名词表示砖块 colorful 是形容鲜艳的、缤纷的。Connect 是动词，表示产生联系、共鸣或者是连结。文法的部分，我们第一个学到 date back 或是 date back to 表示追溯至始于什么什么。两个常见的用法是 date back to 加某特定时间或年代，或者是 date back 加上一段时间。第二个重点学到过去完成式 had 加 pp， 表示在过去某一时间或动作之前就已经完成的动作，常常搭配过去式使用，用来表达事件的先后顺序。先发生的事件或动作用 had 加 pp， 后发生的是用过去简单式。那第三个学到的是 offer somebody something， 或者是 offer something to somebody， 表示提供某人……好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Many people take the MRT every day and are probably familiar with the location we are introducing today, Nanshijiao MRT Station. But did you know the area around the Nanshijiao MRT Station has a market nearby? A market is a place where people buy and sell things. Let's explore the Nanshijiao MRT Station area, shall we? Nanshijiao MRT Station is the first stop on the Zhonghe Xinlu line. There are lots of restaurants and a traditional market nearby. KTVs, clothing shops, and lifestyle stores are also not far from the station. Xingnan Night Market is popular with both tourists and locals. It has many different food stands. Myanmar Street has all kinds of Southeast Asian food. Visitors can try delicious Indian naan or Thai sour and spicy noodles. Every April, Water Festival is held on the street. Don't miss the great food and unique Southeast Asian culture here. I, for one, am a huge fan of Southeast Asian cuisine, so I would love to spend time exploring the area outside Nanshijiao MRT Station. It's so accessible and easy to get to, so it's the perfect place to go when you are looking for some great food and fun.